Top of your... Okay, so I'll do it. Like Control Plus. No, like the text. One more. It's good. Welcome back to the Trading Show. My name is David. I'm joined with David. How you guys doing? Happy Tuesday. I'm excited to be back with you guys. Yesterday, we couldn't run a show. We have having some had some stuff taken over at the studio, but we're back today. Bitcoin is being very, very, very. Let's take a look at Bitcoin's price action. I'm gonna give you guys some trade setups today. I did a poll on X. There's one AI token that I made some good amount of money on. Now, I just don't know what I should do. And I need you watching to help me. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start a poll here as well. I'm up 3x on VVV. Should I hold or rotate to TAO? And I would like everyone watching to go ahead and cast in your vote here for the poll. Rotate to TAO. Okay, so I shared this on on X yesterday. We got currently up 300% on my VVV bag. This is Venice AI. This is Eric Voorhees' product. It's essentially you can get credits to use any large language model, including Opus from Claude, which has been, you know, the talking point of the AI space. We had news yesterday or a couple days ago. This is why Venice AI, and we'll take a look at the Venice chart real quick, and then we'll move on to Bitcoin and some of the other altcoins. This thing went absolutely vertical. This is on the daily time frame. Take a peek at this, you guys. Since February 13th, this thing rallied 365%. Okay? In a market where there's been not a lot of bright spots. There's been a few, but no 3-4X's that are solid projects in the top 300. Venice was clear and cut the favorite away. This ran all the way up to $8.41. In fact, I did make some money on a Venice scalp yesterday. I made 85%. And this was in a matter of, I think, like 3 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever. 14x long, made 266 bucks. I was going to get into another long, I decided not to, which was actually the right move because it started to trend down. We'll see if we can put some trades in live today. But so I'm sitting there, I'm like, you know what? This thing has ran 4x. You know, we called it out on our Patreon a while ago, and well, here's our Patreon. This is on January 31st, you guys. And again, I know I don't post a lot like I used to back when, you know, in the bull market when everything was going up, because at the end of the day, I'm just not going to put out content, or I'm not going to put out a Patreon post just to put out Patreon posts. If there's an opportunity, I'll post it. I posted one a couple weeks ago on Polygon. But this was on January 31st. I said, look, there's still some great money-making opportunities that exist in crypto. Here are the following verticals I'm holding and I'm bidding. AI and robotics was my number one. And you can see here, Venice was number 3. Now, this wasn't ranked in terms of, you know, importance or position in my portfolio, but Venice was definitely one. This is something I had airdrop for free. and I ended up staking it. And I think I've made like $8,200 just staking Venice token on their native platform and earning DM as well. And so it's been the best performer, hands down, in my entire portfolio. And for those of you that got in on January 31st, let's see what the price was on January 31st. We'll go ahead and drop a vertical here. January 31st. The close on January 31st was $2.34. And so if you bought it at the close and you wrote it up, you'd be sitting on a nice 3.5x. And so this is why we keep saying there's still money to be made, even when Bitcoin's going down or trading sideways. Got to be able to find them. Now, you don't hit all of them, but you hit enough and you'll make money. And so, again, I'm genuinely torn because I'm a believer in Venice. I'm a believer in TAO. I'm a believer in virtuals. You guys know I'm a believer in AI. What's the right move here? Do we think this thing's going to continue to run? Or has it at least had a local top and TAO really hasn't moved? When we take a look at a TAO chart, and as we go through these charts, we'll see if we can find any trade entries to give you guys to make some money. If there's anything you'd like me to take a look at, please throw it in the chat. But on the daily with TAO, it rallied up to around $300 back in early January, but it's down 41% since then. And so the question you got to ask yourself is, well, does that mean that TAO is not going to perform well? No. So then is the right play to rotate money into it because it's been trending down? So that is the question I'm juggling with, and I love some input from the community, so make sure you guys throw that in the chat. I see Morpho in there. Just so I don't forget, I'm going to go ahead and open up a TradingView tab. And I'm going to go ahead and open up Morpho and we'll get back to it. We'll take a look at, after this, I'm going to dig a little deeper into TAO. So you can find any trade setups here. Let's move these over. Let's get rid of that. Let's also open up a new one. And let's get Bitcoin up here as well. We'll take a peek at Bitcoin. You know what? Since we're on here, Dow down 400 points. Gold is getting crushed. Oh my, oh me, oh my. Look at that. Interesting, right? Because gold had a massive run up and then war breaks out and gold dumps. This is a fairly significant dump. Guys, remember, this is a $20 trillion asset, right? This isn't some bullshit meme coin where it's $5 million or $100 million. This is a $20 trillion commodity that's seeing a 4% move to the downside while war is breaking out. So nothing is safe. But the interesting thing is, although Bitcoin is down on the day, it is trending to the upside. If you look at the lower time frames, Bitcoin saw a nice bounce here at that 6.8 level. Excuse me, at that 786 level from the low of 65.1 to the high of around $70,000. We did get a wick below, but ultimately we came in on a double bottom here, right? 1, 2, and then we saw a big push to the upside with volume to back us up. We'll take a look at market cipher, and I know I'm kind of jumping around here, guys, but gold, now Bitcoin, VWAP expanding to the upside. Looks like money flow has U-turned and momentum is looking fine for now. The one thing we should keep our eye out on in the 1 hour here is a potential short trigger wave if Bitcoin starts to trend to the downside. And right now, it is showing a little bit of weakness on the 1 hour. Why? Well, we're essentially seeing a double top on the wicks. We're hitting resistance perfectly at our 236 level at 68,924. We got the green dot of doom, and we got volume starting to decrease. Momentum is waning. Let's see if VWAP has clipped. Momentum has not clipped yet, but it's about to clip on the 1 hour. So that's one thing to keep note of. And the levels we're going to be looking for, and this is not anything that I'm willing to go in and put in a limit order and forget it. But this could also be turning into a little bit of a W pattern here for Bitcoin with an extended second leg and a potential flag bringing us down to our 50% fib level. Invalidation would happen at Let me go ahead and draw this up real quick. Let's go ahead and take the close, and let's bring this down to the wick. Let's measure the entirety of that move. Invalidation happens at 67,761. So we got some room to run. We got some room to play with here on the bull flag portion of our nice one. The measured move on this, you guys, if we do break out from that 50, will take us up to above 70,000, 70.147K to be exact. But we're in a wait and see mode to see how this pans out on the 1 hour. We can check the 4 hour here on Bitcoin. Let me go ahead and get rid of some of these brush strokes here. Let's get rid of these. Let's get rid of these as well. And we'll get rid of you. You can stay. You can stay. And you can stay. Okay. So this is Bitcoin's 4 hour. Now for me, continuation, or the case to be made for continuation, would be if volume can surpass around 22,600 Bitcoin. If we can nail that volume in this trading session here for BTC on the 4 hour time frame, I do think we see a little bit of continuation to the upside. This essentially ended up being a falling channel, right? We know typically what falls rises or breaks to the upside. And the upside targets we're looking for, I mean, plainly is $70,000. So there's room for us to make money. If we're going to long this thing, we're going to have to wait for a pullback on the lower time frames. If the 4 hour closes in about an hour and 10 minutes with increased volume, we get no signs of momentum or momentum clipping at the very least on things like Market Cipher or VWAP. We see those VWAP bands start to turn to the downside. If we see that in the lower time frames, we start to find some opportunities below to catch a bounce. We'll be looking to long a Bitcoin. That is the sentiment. That is the bias, directional bias that I'm currently have on BTC. But I am, you guys, I told you guys last week, I'm going to bring JP on the show a little more. If you guys don't know, JP is actually an audio engineer. But when we hired him, you know, he saw our plaque. He's like, you guys do crypto? Like, yeah. So anyways, he's a big trader. He likes trading. He's also a big macro guy as well. So he doesn't have a camera on him. We can't show his computer. But I'd love for JP to just like real quick, bro, give your what's your thoughts on what we've seen over the weekend with price action? Dow is down, NASDAQ's down, gold is down, silver is down. Bitcoin on the low time frames looks like it's making a push to the upside. What's your base case on what we're seeing? And do you think the upward momentum continues?
Hey, good morning. Good morning. So yeah, very interesting weekend, huh? We had we had the war news, which I was so ready to short the markets, and surprisingly, I did short the market, you know, but then surprisingly, here I am trading bullishly over the weekend for war. You know, what kind of world do we live in? We're trading bullishly for war, you know, even days later. So as far as today, I'm seeing upward momentum as the same as yesterday. My daily bias was to the upside for Bitcoin. I'm looking at the 1 hour chart right now. I think you have it on the screen as well. Yesterday was a really big pump up, you know, and there was a good short to be made as well on that 1 hour. You know, based on, you know, around 69.5, 70,000, we had a big wick. That was the short signal. You know, if you were playing the bigger time frames, that would have been the amazing short. You had a double top. We have since came down. We retraced overnight, and I've been looking at the 4 hour as well. And if you pull a Fibonacci from the bottom of around 65,200, that big impulse up we had yesterday, up to the top wick, around 70,000, we had like a perfect 786 bounce, you know, so I was looking for a retracement there. We got it. I'm seeing upward momentum. I'm bullish for the day and most likely bearish for tonight, you know. And as far as the traditional markets, the NASDAQ, similar situation. You know, they pumped yesterday. They had a big gap. So, you know, that the NASDAQ closes during a weekend. The futures opens up, you know, Sunday. So the future markets had left us a gap, over the weekend, and we filled that gap on Monday. The markets pumped on Monday, and then just like Bitcoin, it retraced overnight. So it opened up lower today, but now we're coming up. There's upward momentum in the NASDAQ as well. Okay, so there's some confluence there. I'm bullish, man. I'm bullish right now, up to a certain level, up to about 73,000 exactly. I was looking at liquidity charts. There's a lot of liquidity up to there, and I bet you that matches up with a key level. So I'm bullish until 73,000, and then I'll be looking for shorts.
So 73K, let's go ahead and map that out real quick.
Yes.
Where is 73? Let me get my volume up here. And guys, tomorrow JP will be joining me at the desk. So you get to see his chart. And what happened to my, oh, there it is. Wow, there it is. So he'll be joining me at the desk. You'll be able to see his face and his PC as well. So you can kind of talk to the charts. So 73,000 is kind of what JP talked about. And here is that level. If we zoom in to maybe the 8 hour, okay, we didn't quite get there on these bounces on these wicks, right? Mm-hmm. Fail, lower low, lower low, excuse me, high. This one, if you take the wick into account, was a double top. But ultimately, we haven't kind of tapped 73K outside of this manipulation candle on a wick that ended up holding. If we continue to zoom out a little further, though, this has been a pretty big resistance level going back to March of 2024. And so we're bringing 2-year price levels here into play for Bitcoin. As you can see, once, this is essentially a triple top for, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. We got rejected 8 times before we blew right by it. We didn't quite get the retest, and then it was off to the races in 2025. And we haven't been back when we came back to retest these levels. We didn't really catch any support here. That was very interesting. There's also a fairly large volume gap that sits right below that 73K level. All that volume, guys, is sitting right between $66,000 and $68,000. And so interesting to see. JP, I'm actually going to disagree with you. I actually think on the way up, I think Bitcoin goes through 73, and I think it gets to like 75 to 78. Now, that's on the higher time frames. We're talking 6 hour and higher. But I can see the scenario where 71 gets rejected, right? It's a kind of a slow grind. But with all the uncertainty, I don't know if we're going to get a slow grind. I think we're going to see a move to the upside. I think it's going to be a violent one. I mean, just look at the price action that's happened over the last, here's 1 hour candles, right? This is a 2% hourly candle. This is almost a 1% hourly candle. Here you had a 2.6% followed by a 3% hourly candle. So these moves to the upside are, the problem is we're not finding a base above 68,000. We keep dipping down into the 66 to 67. Can we find a base around 68.5? If we can, then potentially we can get up there to cross that 70, 71. And then I think we see multiple, and here's what you got to remember too, right? War is nasty, right? War is very nasty. At the end of the day, when a economy or country's currency collapses, where do people turn to? Right? Where do people turn to essentially safeguard their money, their wealth? Are they going to buy dollars? Do you think they can buy dollars in Iran right now? I don't know. Maybe, probably not. You want to buy euros? Oh, you probably buy a digital asset, something you can take with you wherever you go, whether you decide to leave the country, stay in the country, permanently leave or temporarily leave. So could we see buy pressure from that? And I'm not underplaying. And I'm not saying, it's good for Bitcoin that the shit that's happening overseas. No, of course not. But it's just a symptom of a larger issue with war. Is there's trickle-down effects, and one of the trickle-down effects just so happens to be potential buy pressure on Bitcoin. If we can have it a different way to where we don't need that for the up pressure, great. But it is what it is, and we're starting to see some continuation on Bitcoin on the 1 hour here. And the 4 hour, we'll see. Again, I'm eyeing volume on the 4-hour. We'll see if that'll pan out. For Bitcoin myself, you know, I'm always, as I'm going through the charts, guys, and kind of talking about price action, I'm constantly looking for potential trade entries and trade setups to give you guys. On Bitcoin, I mean, you look at the 10-minute, you know, you'd have to go down to maybe the 2 or the 3-minute. And I guess the more likely, we do have some confluence here with volume and VWAP, right? Maybe catch a bounce here at around 68.2 to 68.3. This would be a long setup for me. No, where are you? There we go. Long position, right? I would just really target the top end of this range. Essentially be a triple top, have a super tight stop loss. Well, not a super tight stop loss. Maybe at around, what was this, sub 61, 68, 150. So you have a 1.8 to 1 trade setup, right? R&R is not the best, but you're still making money. The entry here would be 68, 270. Your TP would be at 68,799. We'll call it 68.8. And your stop loss would be at 68, that's 68, 230, 68, 129. And so we're sandwiching our limit order in between our VWAP and our volume area. So VWAP should hold. This is the 2-minute time frame. Right now we're getting a red X on Market Cipher A, which is interesting because our Stokes are actually continuing to go up, and RSI, it's flat. It's not rolling over. It's flattening out. So very interesting divergence there on the 2-minute. Let's check the 3, the 5. 5 minutes rolling over. 2-minute is not. 2 minutes actually expanding to the upside. So we could see a flash wick down, or we can see a complete reversal like we are seeing now. So if we do get that quick wick down, I do think it'll be a quick wick. And our entry is there. 68.3. Stop loss 68,129, TP at 68.7. That's about a 1.5 to 1 trade setup. So not the best risk to reward, but it should be a fairly good trade. Now keep your eye on volume. This is also an area where Bitcoin saw a bunch of taps on resistance, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, broke above. Almost got there on a retest, not quite. So we expect this area to be tested again. Tons of trading happened in this region. Throw on, to give us a little more confluence, we can throw on our Lux Algo. Let's hide some of this stuff to make it a little clear. Some confluence with Lux Algo as well, as this is where our equilibrium zone is. So essentially I have triple confluence, VWAP lower band. We have our highest volume traded area on the time frame on the 2-minute, and we have our equilibrium zone according to Lux Algo. Also a big order block here. This is a 50-50 order block. Very interesting. This is where we had that that morning star pattern on increased volume that saw Bitcoin rally from a low of around 67.9 to a high of 68.9, which is a 1.5% move. It's on the 2-minute time frame. This is pretty massive. And so yeah, so for Bitcoin, I am waiting to enter into a long. I would just say, there's some traders that don't pay attention to news. I would pay attention to the news. There's Trump's on a tweet storm. And so one tweet, one update that's not favorable to the markets, and, all TA can down the drain. But also, we're seeing a little bit of a falling channel here on the 2-minute, right? This is building out some nice structure here for us. A little bit of a pennant or symmetrical triangle here, which should break to the upside, right? We're getting we're getting close to the end of this pattern here. So a breakout will happen. We can also look to find out where this thing breaks out. Maybe we move our entry up to, and there's that dumper. Interesting. I'm curious to see if I'll be right here. Does this end up being a nasty wick to the downside and a bounce? I'm curious, but Bitcoin right now is at 68.5. Now momentum is starting to roll over on the 2-minute. VWAP expanding to the downside at minus 8.4. And there's that dumper. We'll see. Let's see what it turns out to be. Does this turn out to be a nasty wick to the downside? And we come right back into this pattern. I've seen this happen too many times where I trade, and it happened to me, I think, a couple weeks ago. It was live with you guys. We got in on a retest on a short. It went in our favor for a whole 3 minutes, and then it completely reversed against us. And there's that nasty wick, man. There's about 30 seconds left of this candle to close, and we're right back into that pattern. Looks like VWAP, our market cipher ribbon 8, which is sitting at around 68,494. That is what's holding up as support right now on Bitcoin. But I'm just going to stay here. I want to see how this candle closes. Let's get rid of that. Let's see how this candle closes, because my bet is this closes as a fairly nasty wick. And at the, yep, and it did. Interesting. What does this tell you, right? The way I look at my candles is each candle represents a group of people. And the symmetry of the candle, whether it's got high upside wicks, you know, big downside wicks, and the size of the body tells you how the traders felt in that trading session. The bears try to push the price down. The buyers stepped in with force. Hence why you have that looks like a 2.5 to 1 wick versus body. And right now, there's just a lot of volatility and indecision in the market. If we go to the 5-minute time frame on Bitcoin, a little more clear here on kind of the sentiment and direction. And then as we zoom out further and further, the waters do become a little more muddy. Let me do this. Let's get rid of those, and let's get rid of our 2 trend lines we drew here. Perfect. $30-minute shows continuation. Same with the 1 hour. So micro level, find your entries. Macro level, go with the trend, which is to the upside. And volume is getting close here on Bitcoin. All right, I'm going to take a quick pause. I'm going to say what's up to some people in the chat. We have a couple things. A few people I want to shout out. Janice Papa's in here. What's going on? We have 27 votes on my poll here. Please do me a favor. I want you to cast your vote because I'm genuinely torn. I don't know what to do. Also, shout out to Brokioshi. I got to show you guys something cool. Blockchain Basement's in here. What's up, man? $10 says that's true. Raheru said hola. By the way, hola is no H. Thank you very much. The hola man himself would not be happy if he saw this thing. Wispy, what's going on, Wispy? Rob's brain is buffering. Please wait. Sound kind of low, or is it just me? I don't know. I think I sound fine. French Toaster, what's going on? Rusty Bot said neither. Buy blow and whiskey and take a day off. Okay. Rad Cool said, what's up with the usual live shows? When are they coming back? So we do Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the morning show with me and Rob, and then we do Monday through Friday for the trading show. Now, I know it's been a little inconsistent in terms of certain days. Maybe we, you know, one day a week we don't take a show off, but you guys understand there's a lot going on in the studio, and so we try our best to stick to our schedule. The best thing you can do is join our Discord. We do post a lot of our announcements in there. Yesterday was a last-minute no-go, though. I will say that. Wispy said, holy ads. Are you guys getting a lot of ads? Why? You guys shouldn't be getting a lot of ads. I just delayed ads. I don't know why. I thought I had them turned off. I had very, very low. Rahura said, war is good for price action. Well, depends on the asset and, you know, who's the side that's looked on as the winner, I guess. Crypto Science says, there's the trading show now. No, like again, as mentioned, we do have the Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the news show. 3-minute holding to 21, BTT. I used to hold a lot of BTC. BitTorrent. Those are the old days of crypto. No more. I sold it for a loss. Sherlock said, what's up, David? Keep it really good technical analysis. Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Okay. I want to show you guys something, man. You guys know Brokioshi has been started off as just a viewer of our channel. We met him in Georgia. Super cool guy. He's been with us for a very long time. I think before we had like 500 subscribers. And so the guy's always supported us. He watches almost every single live show. He's a good dude. I love this man. And so when I found out he started a YouTube channel, I want to do everything I can to support my friend. And so guys, I encourage all of you, if we can get up to 150 subscribers by the end of Friday, I'll give away $100 of my personal money to someone on Friday in the chat. And so all you got to do is go on here and subscribe to his channel. And his work is really, really good. Rob, will you do me a favor, bro? Will you grab me the Thor hammer from the back? I'm going to show you guys his work. And so this is his YouTube channel. I think he's posted one long form and a couple of short form videos. And let's see. Let's watch one of these. So this is what is this one? He made an Iron Man one?
I made the wrong call. I should have just used like regular clear coat. But I distressed. I'm about to be a grandpa for the 4th time. This is gonna be my 3rd grandson. And it's become a tradition. When my daughter has a boy, I get to make the birth announcement for her hospital door room. So that's what we're gonna be doing here today. Let's get into it. I made Thor's hammer for my first grandson, and I made a Captain America shield for...
I'm about to show you the Thor's hammer live in person, man. That shit is so dope. And so shout out to Brokioshi, man. I'm happy you're doing this, bro, because the work you put in is phenomenal. And here is the hammer. Look at that, man. This thing is so dope. So Brokioshi made this for us, okay? This is handmade. It's heavy as shit. I wonder how much he spent to send this to us, but we still have this in our studio. And so I'm genuinely happy that he started a YouTube channel. And Brokioshi, just know, man, you got our support no matter what, my friend. We love you. We appreciate you. And we hope that our community will support you as well. And in honor of your new channel, I'm going to put Thor's hammer here with me today. Actually, I might have to put it on the side because it might look weird in the shot. You know what? I'm just put it right here. You can see the end of the hammer. So guys, go support Brokioshi. I'll give away some money. If we get to 150 subscribers on his channel by Friday, I will give away $100 of my own personal money. And so, yeah, so shout out to Brokioshi. Let me go ahead and pin that in the top as well. And then we'll get back to the charts here. And I'm going to close this poll here in about 5 minutes. We have around 34 votes. Do I rotate into TAO or do I not rotate into TAO from my triple V position? That is the question. As looks like Bitcoin might see a little bit of a, oh, we got the wick. Did we hit our entry? We did not. Okay, we're going to remain patient here. This is what we're waiting for. Let me go ahead and pull up my PC here. Baby Blood Diamond on Market Cipher on the 15-minute. Red Dot on the 15-minute as well, as we are approaching our VWAP upper band sitting at 68,340. Again, guys, we're waiting for a bounce, and we're already getting a bounce on the 5-minute. Look at that bounce. That's a beautiful bounce. We like it when it bounces beautifully. It's a great bounce. HXC said, I've been away for a bit. What are we trading? We're trying to trade everything, man. All of it. Right now, we're patiently waiting for a higher time frame entry on a Bitcoin long. And I think it was on a 2-minute. No, cancel. I think it was on a 2-minute. Look at that perfect bounce on the VWAP. I don't think we would not have hit our entry order. I think I had my entry at 245. This thing wicked down to 288. We might get there again. Waiting for a green dot here on Market Cipher B. Money flow is expanding, so that's good. Momentum is expanding. That's also very good. And then we take a look at the crypto bubbles here. There's not much that is up. River's up 31%. Holy shit. Why is River up 31%? Let's take a peek. Do you guys know, if you guys been watching me, River has been the bane of my trading existence. I have lost more money on River than I have lost on any other altcoin trying to trade it. So we'll go super charts. River. Ooh, daily reversal. Yeah, that's a... But I think here's what kind of wrecked me, right? And I'm kind of thinking and talking out loud here. This is the one chart, okay? The one chart, and I'm sure there's probably other ones. The one chart where this indicator is just dookie. That indicator flashed and River went on a rally another 65%. The indicator flashed here and well, yeah. And here we have it again. So I am not, yeah. And I mean, even on the 8 hour here, this thing, well, I had a little bit of a pullback, I guess. From open and low, 11%, that's pretty good. But River's been on a massive run. This is a stablecoin play. I believe it's a stablecoin play, right? And JP, if you know the answers to the questions I'm asking myself, you could feel free to chime in as well. Let's take a look at what River. I'm almost positive it's a stablecoin. Yep, first chain abstraction stablecoin system that connects assets, liquidity, and yield across ecosystems. I think my concern was their tokenomics were ass. Let's see. Oh yeah, 19% circulating. That's pretty ugly. So fairly low circulating supply. Its fully diluted market cap, guys, is 1.8 billion. When you take in circulating supply, it's around 366. So just be careful with this one. I'm just gonna be honest, man. I have not had any luck trading this thing. If you do, great, but I don't know, man. I'm just not going to trade River. But it's up the highest on the 24-hour. Pippin down the most on the 24-hour. Now, that's an interesting one. That's one I've actually made money on trading. And in fact, let's see if we can get a Pippin entry on a long scalp here. This would be a massive W, by the way. Massive volume spike on a doji candle on the 2-hour. That would be great. Double green dot on the 1-hour. You have a hammer candle followed by an inverse hammer candle, right? One on its own is a strong reversal signal. Two together, you can pretty much call it a day. And with the green dots, this is, that was 43 minutes left. Let's go look at the lower time frames. What's the lower time frame telling us? And guys, when I see a bunch of these grouped together, right? I mean, look how many double green dots we've gotten on Market Cipher B here. 1, 2, 3, 4 in a matter of 7 hours. I think this thing is going to reverse. And when it reverses, I think it's going to be a massive push to the upside. 15-minute looks like it still has a little more downside to go. As does the 10, as does the 5, as does the 2. So I don't think a bottom is in yet for Pippin. But if we go to the high time frames, let's go look at some areas of potential support for Pippin. The first level I was looking at is gone. The level I was going to mark out was here. That level is so far gone. Now, it could be just a wick to the upside. We'd have a large volume area here at 38.1 cents. Let's use Lux Algo in this scenario. This might be good. Yeah, this was a pretty big area to completely fall through. I mean, guys, look at this order block here. Holy shit. That's like a 5 or 6 to 1 buy to sell order block between 43.5 and 46.5 cents. And we completely fell through it on the 4 hour. Yeah, I mean, let's see what else we can find, because this is one of those trades, guys. If we can maybe not completely time the bottom, but if we can get close to timing a bottom, this could be, you put up $1,000 a margin, or you put up, let's say, $500 a margin. You 10x trade this thing. You could be. This is a $2,000 to $3,000 trade day, or a single trade. Pippin has that potential. I've seen it happen before. I'm just going to, let's go to the day. Ooh, okay. We got a gap down here. We got a fair value gap here. Okay. This would be 38.2 cents. 29.3. That's a big gap. I don't think the entirety of this gap fills 38.2 to 33.9. Let's go ahead and draw our fib. Let's see if there's any confluence here. No, that's not my fib. There's my fib. My bet, guys, is so a little bit of confluence. I took the Fibonacci from the low around 15.9 cents. Now this is a high time frame fib pull. So, and that's a big range. 15.9 cents up to 91.7 cents. And our 786 level is right below the midline of our fair value gap that was created on February 10th. So a little less than a month ago. That is where I'd be eyeing a long, and I'd actually, does this give enough room for us? And we run this thing up to our 236. That's an 8.5 to 1 trade setup. And let's see what that would look like. Let's see what that would look like on Bitunix. So 33,251. Let's go to Pippin. Let's go to the day. All right, 30, and we'll go 10x. We're not going to go too much. We'll go 10x. 33,251. This is the margin is around $500, okay? Stop loss 28,468. So this one we'd have to add a little more margin, but which we would, depending. And then 73.73, that would be the upside target. So let's go ahead and draw our TP. I mean, so multiply this by 2. Right, so we'd have to put it up 1,000. So this would be a $1,000 margin on a 10x leverage. If we hit our TP, that's 14K in the bank, so 14 to 1. And our stop loss is essentially would be right above our liquidation, and so we'd really be banking that fair value gap, the lower end of it, does not get pummeled. And so this would be I would say, moderate risk to very high reward trade setup. So what I would recommend you do is to go ahead and set an alert for Pippin at 33,135. because I think we get a bounce there. The only issue I see is there was a new token that launched. I think it was called Pipkin or some shit like that. Yeah, here it is. What? No way. I thought this thing ran up to like 40 mil. Never mind. I thought this thing ran up to thirds, unless someone I probably got baited on X bullshit. RP said, from where did you put the VWAP? I just use for my VWAP here, bro. I just use a it's called VWAP AA, and here are my settings. If you wanted to copy, and I'll make this a little bigger for you. This is the name of the indicator. Input. Here's what I got. Open source. I did high-low divided by 3. And then for the style, it's kind of what I got. So if you want to kind of pause this on your screen and use the same one I have, it's pretty simple. You got to worry about drawing them out yourself. Let's go ahead and bring that back down. Oh, man. Bitcoin. Look at that, bro. I mean, it was so close to our entry. So close to our entry. We'd be crushing it on this trade right now. We'd be up almost 1% on this trade for Bitcoin. All right, let's take a look at Morpho. I feel like this is a bad idea, but fuck it, man. I let out some energy, bro. I got drained last night. My abscess in my armpit got drained. So I'm feeling extra not infected today, you know? At least someone's laughing at my jokes, which is myself and JP. I hear you back to JP. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. See, JP's smart. He knows, bro. He knows who cuts the paychecks around this place.
I love it, man. I love it.
My man's a smart man. What do you think about this Pippin trade, bro? Have you traded Pippin a lot? And any kind of thoughts or ideas on this one? And can we go full screen on this one? If my producer back there, can we go full screen on the PC here? Because I want JP to talk over it.
Yeah, it looks like a legendary bounce you're trying to catch here.
I know. What do you think? Do you think I'm stupid? You can say it.
My only question is, why isn't Pippin pumping like the rest of the markets right now? Why does the 1 hour chart looks like that, like parabolically down? What's going on?
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't think there's any news. It's a meme coin. It ran extremely hot.
Yeah.
I mean, this is on the 1 hour, dude.
Yeah, that worries me. You know, as Bitcoin is rallying, altcoins are rallying, Solana is rallying. Why isn't Pippin rallying? I'm not a fan of meme coins now, but just, you know, that kind of spooks me. What's going on there?
So you're saying I'm stupid? Just say it, bro.
It's high risk, very high risk.
Yeah, it is pretty high risk.
I just don't understand why it's dumping. I mean, you could catch a legendary bounce, even just up to resistance, you know, and get out. I mean, I don't know, man. I honestly don't do meme coins much, but
I think that's good to have someone like you on this channel.
Yeah.
We're all fucking degenerates here. It's nice to have someone that's not as much of a degenerate. Raharuk, let me, because this person has been pretty active in the chat. Let me make sure not to butcher your name. Raharu. Okay, I'm just gonna call you Ra. Ra said, I called the 5-minute 21 MA entry and I missed it myself. I know. I was this close, and if I was hyper focused on monitoring that one trade, I probably would have just market ordered that bitch and gotten into that trade and would be up like 1%. But, you know, I try to go through all the charts and stuff, you know, to appease people. But anyways, so looks like a majority of you think I should rotate my position at TAO, huh? JP, what would you do? I'm up 3.5x on my Venice position.
Okay. And TAO's much lower right now. Is it a
TAO,
discount?
yeah. When you look
obviously?
at price action, TAO has been down and to the right. Venice has had a blow off top essentially locally.
I think it could be a good move, but it all depends on Bitcoin, man. Can we get the continuation up? I think all the alts will run, you know, so it could be a good move. But Bitcoin needs to lead the way.
Yeah, and Venice was a free airdrop too. So technically, I'm up, you know, from my cost basis is 0. IRS, if you're watching, I'm lying. My cost basis is 0 essentially. Yeah, Spider Greg said that chart looks like manipulation. The high volume is probably a few rich guys running it and taking dollars. Yeah, probably. But I think it has a decent amount of holders, that token does. So, oh, Morpho. God, I keep going back to this. Okay, someone asked for Morpho. Well, here is Morpho. I think it was Wispy. Morpho is a base play. I believe it's their #1 DApp. Let's look at DeFi Llama. Is this the #1 DApp on base? No, that's Tron base. It is. #1, $2 billion. Wow. Okay. 24-hour revenue, nothing. Fees, 125K. Interesting there. Aerodrome. Aerodrome's only 350 million in TBL. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Anyways, Morpho on the daily time frame looks like it's starting to break out of a little bit of a bull flag here. I mean, and when I say a little bit, like a very, very little bit, this thing might have hit invalidation. It did. It did hit invalidation for, and what I'm looking at, guys, is the wick low from where the rally started. And when I say rally, it's really a 3-candle rally on the daily, where the rally started at around $1.52 up to where it peaked at around $1.97. And you can see the gold pocket is where we found a bounce. So if you were looking at, well, I guess technically no, because the closure happened, the first closure happened above our 50% fib level. And the second closure happened right below it. And then we had that massive 10% daily candle to the upside on Morpho. So technically, it kind of was a tiny bull flag breakout with the tiniest of poles. And, well, there's one person in the studio who knows about tiny poles, and he's unfortunately not in the studio anymore. He's a minute man himself, Brendan. I miss that kid, man. I'm going to miss him. I'm gonna actually, did he, by the way, did he tell people where he's going to work?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He did?
Yeah.
What did he tell him?
The motocross.
No, did he tell him? Okay, okay, so he didn't say the other part.
Oh, no.
Okay, I'm not gonna throw him out there.
Yeah,
but
he talked about the big picture.
I know where he's gonna be working for the time being. I'm about to go pull up there and anyways. So Morpho looks pretty good here, actually. You know, we got increasing volume on the daily. We got a green dot that just printed on market Cypher B. Let's zoom out to the 8-hour time frame. 8 hours consolidating a little bit in a pretty tight range, I might say, as well. 6 hour, and let's get rid of the fib here. Uh, 6 hour though. We got a lower high on our momentum waves, but a higher high on RSI. RSI is rolling over. Money flow still looks strong. VWAP looks like it wants to U-turn back to the upside. So can we see momentum back in favor of the bulls on Morpho? Let's see if I can find you a little trade setup here, Wispy. We had one trade setup on Bitcoin. It didn't quite hit our entry, but it got close. So anyone that was following along and had a little bit of a higher entry than we did, you would have, hopefully you would have taken profits and made money already, right? Just, you know, take your profits early. I'm just kind of going through the time frames. 2 hour, looks like 1 hour, getting some level of resistance here at our VWAP on the 1 hour. Careful, we might be printing a little bit of a evening star pattern here. Watch for maybe some tweezer tops to the downside. But this could be also turning into some sort of fucked up inverse head and shoulders pattern, depending on how deep this retracement goes. If it does retrace, or it may very well just say F you and continue to the upside. Money flow expanding on the 1 hour. VWAP expanding on the 1 hour. RSI bouncing on the 1 hour. But the one thing I will say is each one of these moves, we're seeing lower highs on the momentum waves. So that's one thing to keep in mind, you guys, okay? Even with this spike here, right? We technically put in a higher high here, and this actually might be more of a head and shoulders versus an inverse head and shoulders. We put in a significantly lower low on the momentum wave. And both of the last two times, we had a sharp V-shaped recovery here to the downside. So this is favoring the bears. So my bet here, my friend, in fact, I think the move here, I'm gonna give you a trade setup, and you might not like it because you might have but I'm looking to short this thing right now. Have my stop loss above the wick, and I wanna bring this down to my market cipher ribbon 8. That's also where my VWAP lower band is. So here's the trade setup. $1.94.8 is your entry. Your stop loss is just above your wick high at $1.95.84, and your take profit is $1.89.40. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and put the trade in right now. I'm hoping this is available on. It is available. Pretty low volume traded. So I'm not going to go with all my margin. I'm actually also going to go lower leverage on this one. Let's go lower leverage 10x. Okay. Our entry, let's go to the 1 hour. I think I said our entry was $1.9476. So $1.9476. We're going to go $300. Open short. Insufficient. Oh, because I have the pip in order. Let me close that out real quick. We're going to cancel. We're going to go back here. $1.9476. There you are. Okay. There's our limit order for a short entry on Morpho. Our stop loss is $1.95.7. We'll drag that stop loss up, $1.95.7. That's not right, man. Okay, I was like, what is going on? We're going to up the leverage, $1.9476. We'll go there. There we go, $1.9564. And TP is $1.8938. $1.8938. So that's about so here's the trade setup. I'm going to leave this open. I think this is going to fill. I'm looking to get an entry at $1.9475 with 20x leverage with $560 of margin. My stop loss is at $1.9566. If my stop loss gets hit, I lose $53. If my TP gets hit, I make $300. So that's a 6-to-1 trade. That's a good trade setup in my opinion. So TP's at $1.89.42. And 1 hour, guys, we could be very well be printing a evening star pattern here. This could be the first part of that evening star. Well, the second part would be this doji candle. And then the next one, we'd see a big candle, a red candle to the downside. And so I'm going to leave this open, man. Here's the trade. I think this is a high probability trade. So, yeah. That's all I got for the trading show, man. I want to thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll do the morning show with Rob, and then we'll do the trading show with myself and JP. So make sure you all subscribe to the channel, have your notification bells on. And JP, you got anything else you want to add before we stroking off over here?
No. We'll see how this trade plays out.
Oh, there it is.
He's in.
Trade got filled.
Looks like a megaphone pattern, by the way.
A megaphone pattern.
Megaphone.
Show me megaphone pattern.
You notice how it kind of widens up at the end of the flag? It's like a flag you got going there. You can kind of see my screen a little bit. That's funny. It kind of looks
a little bit.
It kind of looks like a megaphone right here.
What time frame are you on?
That is the 1 hour.
Oh, it's the same time frame I'm on. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's usually bullish.
Yes.
But basically it's showing increased volatility.
Yes.
You know, it can go either way, but those usually break up. It's funny. It looks like we're probably going to disagree a lot on the show. Maybe this is good.
That's a good thing, though, man.
For the viewers.
That's a very, very good thing.
So what was the reason for the short, just really quickly?
The short was, for me, I was looking at Morpho on the low time frame. We got rejected on VWAP once. The volume is decreasing on the 1 hour, right? So it's continuing up, but the volume is decreasing. And this is me front running it a little bit. Also on the momentum.
Okay.
Turn this off. Also on the momentum, we had sharp V-shaped recoveries to the downside.
Okay.
And we had consistent lower highs. And so what that tells me is momentum is losing steam for the bulls. We're at a key level that price got rejected prior, a level where a blood diamond ended up showing up as sellers stepped in mass. And so am I front running this a little bit? Yes. Could I potentially get stopped out? Absolutely, yes. But for me, I might move my stop loss up a little bit to give myself a little more wiggle room. Robin always says my stop losses are too tight. But at the end of the day, I feel good about it. Can I potentially be a little early on the trade and directionally correct in the short term? Yeah, I think I can. But I guess we'll just wait and see, man.
I'll stand on it.
We both could be right. I could make my money shorting it, and you could be right, and it could expand to the upside. But I do agree. I think having dissenting opinions on a trading show should make for an interesting show. Should be good. Anyways, we're done. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Until next time, peace.